This is 800 Richmond. Myself and my mom came to Canada in 1988, May 1988. This is where we lived. It was a bachelor that my dad lived in. We weren't here for long, with just a few months. And I remember one of the first memories that I had of this place is just the first day we came here. My dad took me to the corner store just around across the street on Queen Street there to get ice cream. That was pretty cool. That was neat for me. And also, he had a couple of friends. This European couple named Barney and Susan. They had an antique store on Queen Street, just right around the corner. And since I came in May, I had a lot of time on my hand before school started in September. So I got to go in the antique store and just explore, and that's like a wonderland within itself for me. You know, usually I was looking for toys, but I found other neat stuff to kind of play with. And also, they had bicycles, so they had different bicycles in the place, so I got to ride bicycles all around the neighborhood and different type of bicycles. It was really cool. They're a nice couple. But yeah, we weren't here for long. This is pretty cool. It didn't look like this. It's all gated up now, but it was more open, and most of our neighbors were like Portuguese people, you know. So I really enjoyed it here. Yeah. Our next domain was right here, 25 Tyndall Avenue. This was a one-bedroom situation. I slept on the couch. And my parents rented the spot from some folks who owned a donut store right there on King Street. And I remember being so skinny while we lived here, because when we migrated here from Nigeria, I was really ill. Like I was ill before we left Nigeria, so I was really skinny. And my parents would often give me money to get milkshake from McDonald's, which is down the street, strawberry milkshake, to fatten me up. Also, the Indy cars, the Indy race, was held just around the corner on the CNE grounds. So I remember hearing the engines from the race. That was pretty cool as a child. And also, one thing that started here was the beatings I'd get from my dad. And I remember one particular incident. I guess I didn't do my homework, and I had a white T-shirt on. And by the time my dad started beating me, it was all red, you know. But I mean, we weren't here for long, but it was a pleasant place, you know, to live, I guess. Better than the building. My mom hated buildings. That's part of the reason why we left the building, you know. Yeah, this is St. Mary's, the first school I attended when my family, me and my mom migrated here. I remember some of the teachers that were here at the time. It's just a couple, Mr. Zambri, Mrs. Rahowski, which is a real cool lady. She actually suggested to my parents that I join Air Cadets to gain some more discipline, you know. So went to Air Cadets, which is by Moss Park right there, 818 Squadron. Yeah, that was really fun. Got to go to the States when I was in Air Cadets. Got to go skiing in Quebec. Going to the Pentagon was really cool. Checking that out in Washington. That was really cool. That was because of her, you know. And Mrs. Rowski, on a side note, to tell you the truth, when I got incarcerated, I actually wrote her, and she wrote me back. So it was really cool what she typed it back, because she said in her letter that she had arthritis. That's why she wasn't able to write it back to me, but she typed it back to me. So that was really cool, getting that letter from her, because I was really at a low point, and hearing from her was really good. I became friends with a couple of the children in this neighborhood. One in the neighborhood was Bishop Tutu, which is down the street. A couple of the homes, and some of them are still my friends till this day. And for lunchtime, we'd often go to the pizza store, which was a Queen of Bathurst there. I think it's a pizza now, but before it used to just be a mom and pop shop. And there's the arcade in there. Used to play Afterburners and Golden Axe, those type of games. You know, fries and gravy was big. That was our lunch back then. And there used to be a place called Mr. Pung's, which was just down the street from the pizza store. And they had spring rolls. And the spring rolls were some big spring rolls. I remember going get that for lunch. Yeah, but for the most part, just getting familiar with my new surrounding. The transition from Nigeria to Canada was that first year was pretty interesting. On a side note, when I was supposed to start here, start grade 5 here, but they put me a grade back, so I started grade 4, which was kind of suspicious within the system because it make no sense. Like, I mean, I know I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not a stupid person, so I couldn't understand why they even put me a grade back. So that was something interesting within the system that made me think as I got older why they put me a grade back. You know, it was really weird. So I was like usually the oldest in my class as time went on. But it all started from St. Mary's, and I'll never forget this school. You know, peace to everybody that went to this school. We lived at Pape around the 90s, 1990s. My brother Victor was actually born here, but I still had to deal with the physical abuse from my dad. And one occasion, while he was beating me, the neighbors called the cops, and he was actually arrested, you know? And I had to go live at a group home for like 3 months. I was put in children's AIDS care. And then after 3 months I had to move back. And I actually cried because I didn't want to move back, you know? It's a horrible situation to be in, but it is what it is. So I had to switch schools by the time we moved here. This is a 3-bedroom. And my sister Veronica was born here. But shortly after her birth, my mom became ill. I had to take on more of a role with my siblings. My dad and I rarely spoke, but we managed to coexist. But my mom's condition worsened, and it took a toll on the union. So, but for the most part, living here was way different than where I was when I first moved here, you know? This was the second school I attended. It was very different from the first one. The first one was very multicultural. This one had a bunch of European children in it, but I had no problem adjusting. Some of the new friends I made would go bike riding through the nature trail. Got into sports, playing volleyball, basketball, track and field. I was a sprinter. And even this little game called Burpee, we played in the playground. You can see those boxes were the strike zone. And it was like a two-player game, you know, or you could play like with 3 or 4, 5. It's a form of baseball, you know. That was really cool. Some of my teachers was Mr. Albert, Mr. Lee, Mr. Kwan. He was a cool guy. And I didn't live too far from here, so I'd go home for lunch. Yeah. It was really cool still. I liked it. It was a different pace. Stayed here till I went to high school, which was down the street. Yeah, by the time we moved to this address here, my parents' union had ran its course, and my mom's illness had affected every area of the family. I had to watch them more, babysat more, and cook for them. My dad went from sleeping on the couch to just basically leaving the house altogether. But before his exodus, we'd get into a couple of altercations, but I was a little older now. And I was fighting back. And my mom actually had to jump in on one occasion, or because I didn't greet him, that's why we got into the altercation. But I was also transitioning from elementary school to high school, so I had to deal with that. And I got a girlfriend by the time I got to high school, and I started working at McDonald's. But at that point, though, just the state of the family was pretty sad because, you know, things were breaking up. My mom's illness, like I said, had taken its toll on the family. My dad had left. But I guess we have to deal with what we have to deal with, you know. I guess you could say it was for the better. I swear by the time I got to high school near McNeil, which was an all-boys school, it seemed like everybody that was in the school was either some bad boy or some outcast from another school. But my first couple of years in high school, was spent getting caught up, you know, got in a few problems. But for the most part, I still played sports, but for me, I'd rather hang with the homies at the arcade. And Notre Dame, which was a all-girl high school, was just down the street. So we'd often go there, look about some girls. And once I got myself a girlfriend, my first girlfriend was from Notre Dame, went to Notre Dame. I was mint, you know? It was just go check my girl, that was the flex, and go hang with the boys after school, you know? And one of the few hangout spots we'd go to was the stations, whether it be Victoria Park Station, Warden Station, yeah, Kennedy. You know? And for the most part, some of us, you know, a few of us got into joyriding in stolen cars. I remember one particular story. I was driving a stolen car during lunchtime, and we were coming back from wherever we went. Usually we would go to other schools, you know, during that time. I was coming back, and car was packed with the boys, and I was driving, that's how I actually learned how to drive in a stolen car. We were coming back, and I was parking up right by the parking lot by the school, and somebody, I guess, thought it was funny and dared me to drive onto the school track, which was right next to the parking lot. And back in those times, you can't really dare people, you can't dare anybody because we're always game for it, you know? So I drove the car over the curb and started to drive on the school track, and I guess the guys in the car didn't think I was going to do it, so they got paranoid and started jumping out. The door's wide open as I'm trying to accelerate. And just so happened, the art class, which is right next to the school track, was in the portable. Everybody's at the window, looking out the window, including the art teacher, Mr. Utet. I remember seeing him with his mouth open, and I was like, got me paranoid, so I jumped out the car while the car was in the drive, was still in drive, and he was just kept on driving. Jumped out, yeah. I got arrested for that shenanigan, you know. Ironically, the same leadership that I lacked at home was the same thing that helped me in my latter years in high school. Ironically, I graduated I graduated being a role model of the school, and I even won a humanitarian award. I didn't even plan, like, if you look at my graduating class, I didn't even take a picture with them because I wasn't really about that. Like, man, I wasn't really involved in school like that to be taking pictures. So even graduation, I didn't plan on going to graduation, and it's because of the award that I went to graduation. I didn't even know I was going to win the award. was the vice principal that insisted that I went to graduation, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to go. And he insisted, he's like, I'll get you a tux. And so I was like, yeah, cool, you want to get me a tux? Matter of fact, get my homie a tux too, so my homie could go with me. So and lo and behold, that's how I found out that the reason why they wanted me to come to graduation is because I won this humanitarian award, which is really cool, you know. But the school always has a special place in my heart. Even after I came out, as soon as I came out, I came here and visit some of my old teachers. You know, Tony Turco, he's still here. You know, so it's all right, yo. Like I said, Neil was an experience. I enjoyed it still. You know, high school is always an experience. So I suggest you cherish it. If you're in high school, you're about to go to high school, it's an experience like no other. Cherish it. You know. Yeah. 85 Palmer Court, Unit 3. This is the house I lived in until I got incarcerated in 2012. I mean 2002. My mom had applied for housing years ago, and she was insisting on getting a townhouse. I'm pretty sure a couple of times they offered her a place, but she refused them. All she wanted was a townhouse, and this was a 3-bedroom situation. So this is actually the first block I ever actually lived on, like first ends, you know what I mean, as you want to say. My mother's illness had taken its toll, like to the point that, you know, she started drinking to compound the problem too. So running the household was literally all on me, aside from the rent, which she kind of still took care of, but for the rest, everything else was all on me, you know what I mean? My father, again, he didn't help. He would just, every other weekend, he would just come pick up my siblings, my brother and sister. After high school, when like most high school graduates, I wanted to go to college, but I couldn't because, you know, my household needed me. I had to work to make ends meet. So going to college was really out of the question. Like, you know, my siblings were like 8, 9 at that time. So, you know, yeah, I left my job at McDonald's at that point because, I mean, like I said, I needed something to pay more. So my girlfriend, my high school girl, she found a job at a restaurant and told me to go apply as well. And it just so happened I got the job there as a prep manager. That was cool. Less than a year after, she got pregnant. A daughter was born on New Year's Day, 2001, and so now, you know, my responsibility kind of doubled with me looking after my household, and where my daughter was living too, I had to make sure she was good too. So I had a lot on my plate. My mom did not help the situation because one day she showed up at my sibling's school drunk. So children's aides basically started a file on us, so I had to deal with that too. And with her mental health declining, again, like I said, she took care of the rent, but there was times where we nearly got evicted because of her state of mind. But for the most part, you know, we made the best of the situation, and it was just all on me. Everything was all on me at that point. But this is where I was at till I got incarcerated and went to jail for murder. You know. Now Teasdale's a place where some of my schoolmates went. You know, so I frequented it because it was right next to the basketball court, and back then we used to play a lot of ball. You know. Yeah, in August 2002, my daughter was 18 months. My household was kind of was in disarray. You know, it wasn't a good situation with my mom. My mom's still going through it. My my dad would come get my siblings every other weekend, and we didn't get no assistance from her at all. So, to be quite honest, I had a lot on my plate, you know. So that kind of affected my judgment into situations. On the 11th of April, one of the youths from the ends from Teesdale came up to me and told me how he got jumped by some folks, by some people, you know. So with that being said, we kind of, you know, the few mans that lived in the end, we said, yo, you know what? Like, I didn't live on the ends. I lived in Palmer Court then, but I always stayed hanging here because this is where most of my homies are, you know. So we was like on some military movements for the next couple of days. So on the 13th, which was a Tuesday of August, a couple of days after the little homie got jumped, we were chilling by the basketball court, and like I said, we're moving a little more militant with him being jumped, you know. So I seen a man. I seen somebody who didn't look familiar. So I went up to him. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? You know somebody here? And he's like, he didn't want to answer me. He wasn't really paying. He ignored me. And I noticed he had a liquor bottle in his hand. So I went to go reach for the liquor bottle to get his attention. And he got up and said, yeah, he's going to leave. So he walked away. I went back to the basketball court. Like 2 minutes after, I seen him again, and I'm like, yo. I went up to him and I'm like, yo, fam, didn't I tell you to boogie? The man's like, ignoring me. So he had this little chain on, this little gold chain, so I just popped the chain. And then he took off. He took off running towards the station, Victoria Park Station, you know. I went back, you know, shooting the hoops, chilling with a couple of the homies, and at that point, it was like a bunch of children, just like you see right now. There's a lot more people back then. A bunch of children, you know, around. So it was about 15, 20 minutes later. I seen one of the girls running towards from the direction of VP stations. She's running. She ran straight to the basketball court and was like, yo, there's a bunch of mans coming with beer bottles in their hand, ready to. So with people hearing this, people got frantic. The little kids, some of the little kids and the girls started running inside because they knew something's about to go down. So, I mean, I myself, I could have left too, but I knew because it was my issue, my beef. So I was like, I can't really leave. I gotta stay. So I stayed, and I walked up to right here where by the tree is, a little past it, and somebody came up to me out of that group. It was like a bunch of dudes came, walked up to me, and he was drinking a beer, but he didn't say nothing to me at all. You know, during the incident, the man did not say a word to me, but he was drinking. And then the guy that got his chain popped, he was like 10 feet away from me, and my homie was standing in front of him too. You know, like I said, it was just a couple of the homies on the ends at that point. Like I said, it was mostly children and women, and they all hightailed it inside because they knew it was about to go down. So the dude that got his chain popped, who was like 10 feet away from me, and his homie was like right in front of me, and he was like, oh, you don't want no problem. I'm like, hold up, how you say you don't want no problem? You come here with a bunch of people, y'all got beer bottles in your hand, and the dude in front of me, he just like drinking, grilling me right in my face. But I wasn't really paying attention to him too tough, but I was paying attention to him. So, because I was conversating with the guy that got his chain popped. So he comes up, he says he don't want no problem, but and I pointed out, yeah, it is what it is. Like, you guys come in here look like you know what I mean? Like, you want to do me something, you know? So as I pointed to the guy's beer bottle in front of me, and I'm like, yo, look, like, you got your homie here, he's got his beer bottle, and like, you know? As soon as I said that, the man pushed me, and I seen he went to go
wind up to throw the bottle that he was drinking. So I backed up a little and kind of turned to the side. And when he threw the bottle, it hit me on my side right here, and it exploded on impact. And then, like I said, these guys had bottles. He had another beer bottle in his pocket. So after he threw that, he took out another bottle. And I noticed it, and as he took it out, for some it was weird because I don't even walk with weapons like that. It would just so happen, that I had a knife with me that day. It was in my back pocket. So as I seen him approaching me with a beer bottle, it looked like he was gonna come hit me over the head with it. I pulled out my knife and I ducked as he tried to hit me over the head. And then as I ducked, I swung my knife and the knife went in his heart. So I stabbed him in his heart. And so I found out later on at court. And after he got stabbed, he kind of staggered off. I didn't even know I hit him, but when he started staggering off, I was like, oh, whoa, man got it. I remember I had my conveyance, my car parked across the street at the park over there, so I hopped the fence, hopped in my whip, and drove up to Palmer Court, where I live. Yeah, I got arrested like 2 weeks after that, on August 27th. I spent 8 years incarcerated, and I won my appeal in 2010. And I got out in April 23rd, 2010. As soon as I got out, I started volunteering. I volunteered with Bright Future Alliance, nonprofit organization. I was a program coordinator. We had a program called Cooking for a Change. And then shortly after that, I was also with another nonprofit called RRS, Redemption Reintegration Services. I was actually a board member with them too. And I was a program facilitator with them. Got to go to the group homes and talk to the youths. It was really cool. It was really cool. I really enjoyed that one, reaching out to the young ones. I do have a lot of lessons that I could part with them, so that made it that much enjoyable. A few months after I got out, I met a woman who overstood the journey I've been through, and a couple of years later, we started a family. We have 2 boys now, and I became civically active as far as my indigenous rights as a Moorish American. Myself and my daughter are doing well, we're making up for lost time. She was my lighthouse in those dark days, so she'll always hold a special place in my heart. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in my family. I overcame big odds to be with them here today. The system thrives on broken homes, and if you can't see that as an individual, you're a lost person. These days, it's only family that I keep around me. I don't have friends. I don't call these people that you might see around me that are close to me as friends. It's strictly family, I've always knew this to be true as a child, that everything you got to deal with is mental on this realm. Meaning it does not matter what obstacle you face, but how you endure it, I guard my mind like Fort Knox. You can see with the media, there's always stuff they're trying to push or promote at you. We live in the Truman Show era right now. If you can't see what's going on,
So mentally, you have to be strong and see past the nonsense. Like, I question a lot of the stuff that is being shown out there. Like, I just don't take it for what it is. You know, as far as media goes, you just most of the time they just want you to be emotionally disturbed by what they show you, and that's the key. Is not to get emotionally involved in these things that they're pushing, the agendas that they're pushing towards you. We must evolve on Earth if we want to get it right. We as a people have been taught to defer, to look outside of ourselves for the solution. And Michael Jackson said it best. Like, if you want to invoke change, it's up to the person in the mirror. No de facto government is going to save us, and there's no invincible man in the sky that's going to come down and save us. Justice is ours, but it's only to a matriarchal state of mind. Nothing should come before the women and children, but for far too long we went against that, and that's why we continue to suffer till this day. Because there's no justice, it's just us.